Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sports Now, the show where we go over and debate the biggest stories in sports. I'm Josh Heller, as always joined by my co-host, Logan Ripley. Logan, how's it going today?
We have a lot of basketball to get to, but something different from all of our other shows, or our recent ones, rather. We have some other sports to talk about for once. So we'll start off with basketball, two quick things, and then we'll kick it right into NFL after that. So we'll start with the Sweet 16 previews.
Yeah, so we're in the Sweet 16 of the tournament. I'm going to read down all the matchups, and we picked two to talk about, but we'll get to those. So first up, in the South, we have number 1 Kansas versus number 5 Maryland, number 3 Miami versus number 2 Villanova. In the West, we have number 1 Oregon versus number 4 Duke, and number 3 Texas A&M versus number 2 Oklahoma. In the East, we have number 1 North Carolina against number 5 Indiana, number 6 Notre Dame against number 7 Wisconsin, and lastly, in the Midwest, we have number 1 Virginia versus number 4 Iowa State, and number 11 Gonzaga against number 10 Syracuse. So we each picked one that we want to talk about, and I want to start with Kansas, Maryland. So, can we both agree that Kansas didn't win this game? Yes or no?
No.
No? All right, go.
Melo Trimble's a great point guard.
He is.
Maryland had a great season last year. This year, struggled a little bit. I still think Maryland is that team from last season, and I think they're going to upset Kansas. It's going to be an upset because Kansas has shown their dominance so far in the tournament and in the regular season.
Right.
If they do get past Maryland, I think that they're going to have a matchup with Oklahoma later on in the Final Four.
Yeah.
But I think Maryland poses the biggest threat to beat them.
I could see that. I just think that Kansas, I don't want to say they're unstoppable because they're obviously not, but I think that of the 1 seeds remaining, they're probably I would put them right on par with North Carolina. North Carolina, I mean, Bryce Johnson's a great player, but Marcus Page has shown that when he's told, and it's a little harder for him to heat back up than, say, a guy like Buddy Hield, for example. But, I mean, you looked at that South region, Villanova crushed it their last game, crushed Iowa. Miami nearly fell to Wichita State. That was a close one. Maryland was able to handle Hawaii pretty well, but Kansas is easily the strongest team left in the South region, and I think that when you have guys like, Perry Ellis or, Selden Jr. or whatever guy you want to talk about, I love Melo Trimble too. I think he's a great player, but I just don't see how Maryland would be able to contain Kansas. I mean, we've seen Kansas falter in the spotlight before. We've seen big teams like that, Kentucky, namely, all those big teams. I think that they will falter at some point, but I don't think that's going to be in the Sweet 16 with Maryland. And now you picked a game that you want to talk about. Which one was that?
Texas A&M versus Oklahoma, the 3 versus the 2.
Yeah.
In what region again?
That's in the West.
The West region. So 3 versus the 2, Texas A&M at the 3, Oklahoma at the 2. I think this is going to be a very high offensive game.
Yeah.
Oklahoma plays defense. Texas A&M also plays defense and can really turn it on. But I think the offense is really going to control the game, and we're going to see scoring from Buddy Hield and also Devon House from Texas A&M. Both their programs have been great this year.
Yes.
Oklahoma has been better. I think Texas A&M's coming off a very good win and a very good comeback, and they're going to carry a lot of momentum into that.
Yep.
Also, Oklahoma had a very good comeback, too, because of the way that Buddy Hield turned it on in the second half, and I think he's going to come out hot. So I'm really looking forward to this game. I do think Oklahoma will get by Texas A&M, and there won't be a big upset.
Right.
But I am thinking it's going to be close, and it's going to come down to the last 5 possessions of the game.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. We saw A&M, if it wasn't making history, it was pretty close to making history with the comeback win against Northern Iowa. One of the greatest college basketball games that we've seen, definitely. Like you said, they've got great momentum going into the game, but I think Oklahoma does too because, Buddy Hield started out cold in that game. He finished on an amazing hot streak, carried them to the win in that one, and I think he's just going to keep it up. And like we said last episode, I don't think there's a way that you can't give him Player of the Year. I think he's all but a lock at this point.
It's going to be Player of the Year versus one of the best players in the country.
In Devon House.
Yeah. So, and one of those upperclassmen, people that we haven't heard about,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just come out of the clouds, and they carry their team, and he carried his team to the 3 spot. So
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a very good matchup between both of them.
Yeah, for sure. I was a little iffy on A&M coming into the tournament. They were a popular upset pick among a couple of my brackets, but watching Devon House and the rest of the Aggies, just play, be able to never quit on the game, especially against Northern Iowa, I think that speaks for the leadership that they have on the team, and that, just if they build momentum, they can keep it going. They ride the hot streak, I guess.
I think it also shows that Buddy Hield is the only player in college basketball that can shoot really cold and flip it on, as House didn't score any points up until 5 minutes left in regulation, and scored 22 in the 5 minutes left of regulation, first overtime and the second overtime. So it shows that, they might be faltering, both of these players, but they're going to get their shot somehow, and I think that they're both going to be hot at the same time, and it's just going to be
it's going to be a shootout.
It's going to be back and forth, and I think it's going to be awesome. Kind of like the Kentucky-Indiana game that we saw last round.
Yep. So, again, you said you picked Oklahoma, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
yep.
I do too. All right, so without previewing the games, let's take a look. So, Kansas, Maryland. I like Kansas, you like Maryland.
I like Maryland in the upset, yep.
All right. I'll hold you to that.
Okay. It hasn't... Nothing's worked so far. So.
All right, Villanova, Miami. Who do you like?
Miami.
Miami, okay.
How about you?
That one's close for me, but I'll take Villanova.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Jay Wright as coach, so I'll take Villanova. The interesting one for me, Oregon, Duke. Who do you have?
Duke.
I have Oregon. I actually had Baylor beating Duke and then Oregon beating Baylor, but that didn't really go my way, did it?
Yeah.
So we already talked about
A&M.
A&M.
Both have Oklahoma.
Yep. All right, so this was one I thought about talking about, but we didn't. North Carolina, Indiana. I have North Carolina. Who do you have?
I guess I'll go UNC also. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. 2 great point guards, but Marcus Page has been struggling all year.
Yeah.
I think Bryce Johnson and Justin Jackson will really put this game away. And also Barry, who plays a little shooting guard and point. They're going to have big games, I think. Page will be more of a passer in this game. He probably score like 9, maybe 11 points, but he'll have like 7 assists, 5 boards, a couple steals, what he always does.
Right. I will also take North Carolina in that one. I had North Carolina beating Kentucky, but I am at the bottom of a bracket pool. So, Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Now, this one's really interesting for me. I'm having some trouble picking this one.
All right, if you pick, let's hear who you picked and why you picked them.
I'm going to go Notre Dame,
okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I guess. I had West Virginia advancing, but I think I looked at the Notre Dame roster, and it's just a bunch of, not any huge names, not a Buddy Hield that's carrying the squad. You got guys like August, and then last game you had Fluter contributing the game-winning bucket. I just feel like, and I think Mike Bray? That's the coach. I think he's not a bad coach, I think that if all the pieces can be functioning and no one goes extremely cold, I think that with all of them functioning together can take down Wisconsin, even though, that was a great game to watch, Wisconsin and Xavier, and they're going to be riding the hot streak, riding the momentum, but I think Notre Dame has a pretty good chance here to make the Elite Eight. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have Notre Dame going into the Elite Eight. From what I've seen right now, Demetrius Jackson had such a great game last game. He's going to be a top 20 pick in the NBA.
Yeah.
August, he might slide into the second. I think from what I've seen right now, he's not in the first round.
Yeah.
But, man, he's making a case for himself because he is just playing tenacious D, and he's rebounding the ball. No one can stop him on the boards, on the block. I watched one play. They kept doubling on after every screen, and Notre Dame runs a lot like a similar offense to Syracuse, where they just set screens for the ball handler at that point, and they double Jackson every time, and Jackson either had to make a nifty move to get away. He ended up giving it up to August, and August drove from 5 feet behind the 3-point line all the way in and made a layup. At 6'9" and being as big as he is, I think he could play power forward in the NBA and be very good at it.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Draymond Green, but I think he has the same kind of skill set as him.
Wow. Okay, that's a statement.
Yeah.
And then in the Midwest, Virginia, Iowa State. I mean, I like the Cavaliers in this one.
Yeah, I also have Virginia.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, I mean, he's
no trust in Iowa State. So.
Yeah, that too, especially after last year.
They could win this game, but just because I have no trust in them, I'm not going with them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Yeah, it's a definite case. Interesting one for me here would be Gonzaga, Syracuse. Now, we're both Syracuse fans, but I'm gonna have to go with Gonzaga in this one. I mean, you looked at whatever the big guy's name is. Is it Sabonis or was it
Sabonis?
Yeah. Just the way that they were able to shut down Utah and Fresno State all the way back when they played them. I think the way Utah's a good squad, and when you shut down a team like Utah and show it with the dominance that you did, I think they can take down a streaking Syracuse. But I think this is actually going to be a really fun game to watch. I mean, it's 2 double-digit seeds, but it's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, Gonzaga's had 2 great wins, and you have to give them credit. They've been playing really great basketball.
Yeah.
I also think Syracuse has a chip on their shoulder, like I said last show. And they've been showing everyone that they do belong in the tournament, and making it here is a big deal, I think. It's gonna be a big matchup. I don't think it's going to be it's gonna be more than a 10-point win, whatever way it goes. I think Syracuse either has to get hot from the field and not miss to beat them, or their big guy for Gonzaga is going to have just a huge game on us. If the X Factor's Coleman for Syracuse, and the X Factor's their point guard for Gonzaga.
I don't know.
Can't quite remember his name.
Yeah.
He's very popular, and he's a very, he's a consistent point guard. He's been there for a while, and I think he could have a big game shooting a 3. And the 2-3 zone versus a big man has not favored us in the past for Syracuse, but I'm going to go with Syracuse in this one just because they're their big win versus Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah,
which has a stout defense.
I mean, I looked at Sabonis. I think he's going to shut down the middle, and I think Syracuse is going to have to rely really heavily on Cooney. I think he's going to have to be hot from the field.
I'm okay
sure.
with relying on him now, just because he had such a great game last game.
Yeah,
and if you asked me 2 games ago, I don't know if I'd rely on him. But I think we have more than just 2 guys that can get it done from the field, and I think we have one of the. For not starting a lot of people, we have one of the deepest benches scoring-wise in a long time. The great team with Tyler Ennis, C.J. Fair, and so on, anyone could score. Mm-hmm. And I feel like on this team, everyone is scoring. Anyone who comes off the bench, Franklin Howard's been shooting the ball a little bit more, and I think that's good for our team and his development.
You're a fan of the, what is it, Lydon kid?
Lydon, yeah.
Lydon. You're a fan of him off the bench, too.
Because he's 6'9", and he's playing big down low. He's playing the middle position, where in the past we've had a 7-footer Mello play there, Fab Mello used to play in the middle, 7 feet tall. We're usually a big zone, but I think our zone's more athletic right now.
Right.
And we move quicker, and we are one of the best teams at NCAA against the three-point shot and percentage-wise.
Yeah.
So we are more athletic. We can get to the ball quicker, and that might hurt Gonzaga, because if we can stop those passes inside, they're going to have to rely on their three-point shooting, and if they can't get it done, they're just going to lose.
Yep. I think Cooney and Benajay are going to be the big difference makers for the Orange in this one.
Watch out for Malachi Richardson.
Him too. I have always liked Malachi.
Because he carried us through the first game.
Yeah.
And Cooney, didn't play that well. And Benajay did not play that well either, but of course he had a great game last game. So
yep.
That's definitely another good game to watch. All of them are, obviously. But
yep.
We'll move on to a point guard from Providence University, standing at 6'4" and 220. Chris Dunn declares for the draft.
We all saw this coming.
Yes.
Chris Dunn,
Junior.
A lottery pick, definitely.
Yeah, I think
he's probably slotted in that 3-4 spot.
He played really well against UNC. He made a lot of shots to keep them in it. He missed a couple, and they went on a run, and that's not his fault. He has one other good player on his team,
right?
The center, and he's only 6'9", and he's dealing with small forwards that are playing for UNC that are 6'9", and more athletic. But no, he carried him through that. He averaged 16.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and I think those overall stats really showed how good he is and what he could or possibly do in the NBA. He's very athletic, one of the best dunkers in in college, and I think teams look at that like, oh, well, we can develop his shot more. And last year, averaging 15.6 points, he was not a very good three-point shooter, and he's evolving. And against UNC, he was hitting step-back jumpers, those Steph Curry crossovers, and then just one step back, hit it. He's got a little bit of a Kemba Walker feel in a bigger frame.
Right.
Not as good of a shooter, but he can really get to the basket, and I think it's always good to have athleticism and teach shooting later, because you definitely can teach shooting.
Yeah.
And not the other way around.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. If Boston holds on to Brooklyn's pick, and it's number 3, and Simmons and Ingram are gone, do you take Chris Dunn at 3?
I'm not positive, because I think him and Marcus Smart are kind of the same players.
Yeah.
We'll see what Danny Ainge does. I think we would go Bender maybe at that point.
Where's he out of?
Foreign player.
Oh, the foreigner.
From
okay.
Croatia.
Yep.
And I also have heard that, not heard, but have read that we are currently in the 4th spot right now for picking.
Okay.
Wise with Brooklyn, because we're all seeing what Brooklyn does, and they've, they didn't clear house completely, so it kind of didn't help
Brooke
us.
Lopez and company.
Right. So they're starting to play a little bit better. We have the 4th spot, and the kid from Utah, the center, Patel, he was going in the 4th spot in the Bleacher Report mock draft that came out about 3 days ago. So,
now, what do you see as a bigger need? Do you need a big
rim
man?
protector. Yeah, we need a rim protector.
Not a Sullinger fan?
No, Sullinger's good. I think he'd be good at the power forward position.
Okay.
He can't play against those 7-footers anymore. He's, that's probably why he's getting hurt so much. He's a very good offensive talent if he's up against people like Al Jefferson playing center.
Okay.
If he goes and the guy in Atlanta, Horford, those are smaller guys that have shown that they can play center. They're 6'10", going on 6'11", though. He's 6'8.5", going on 6'9". He's not that big. He's a very big body. He's not height-wise. He can't protect the rim. And the tall guys that we do have, like Olynyk from Gonzaga, he 7-footer, but he's finesse. He's not going to get up there and block you. So we need someone like Patel, who's a 7-footer, solid body, that can get in there and can score. He's kind of like Vucevic, I think, from Magic.
Yes. Yep.
And the Valanciunas from Toronto.
Yeah.
So I'd put him in that category, and I think that he would be a good pick for us in that spot.
Okay. So we'll move to the NFL. Bad news at Kansas City, as Justin Houston is going to miss 6 to 12 months for recovering from ACL surgery.
It seems like they always have someone out. One of their big guys is always out.
I remember the Mike DeVito one was a big one.
Tamba Ali was out last year for a while. Yeah. I think they'll get past this. I think you would agree.
I like that Chiefs squad.
They have a very good defense without Justin Houston, and he'll I don't know, he'll be back, right? He'll be back.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends. It depends on if it's in the earlier end or the later end. You know?
We'll see, but hopefully he gets back, because that's such a great defense, and they're going to need him.
Yeah.
Some great regular seasons they've played, and they just need to get it done in the playoffs, and it's a hard thing.
Even when Jamal Charles went down, I'm like, they still got a chance, and then they went on, like a 9-game winning streak,
they lost, 10, I think. I think they lost, didn't they go 1-5?
They went 1-5, and then they lost
won 10
Charles.
straight, I thought.
Yeah, it was something like that, because they lost Charles early.
Yeah, and then they went 10 straight wins, which is amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Chip Kelly definitely deserved...
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, sorry.
The other Eagles coach.
I apologize to all Eagles fans. Andy Reid, the one you let get away, had such a great year coaching.
Yep. And we reported it last show that Alfred Morris was probably going to sign with the Cowboys. He officially did.
Yep. You're welcome.
Yeah, again.
Get those fantasy.
We are insiders.
Get your fantasy squads up. Alfred Morris will be a dark horse pick, I think, with that offensive line in Dallas.
I just think it's McFadden's right now. I don't know.
They wouldn't have signed Morris if they didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It shows Jerry Jones is senile, like in the next comment he makes that we're going to talk about for a second here.
Yeah, so we had talked, this was a little while ago, that a lead official acknowledged that there was a connection between playing football and CTE, and Jerry Jones says that is, quote, absurd to think that. He says there's not enough data to support that argument.
There's no connection between football and CTE. Now... I'm pretty sure Jerry Jones never played football in the NFL.
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but
I bet if he did, he wouldn't be in the point where he is right now mentally.
True.
I think he would be way out in left field. And he would really know that there is a connection. There, you have to be either stupid or you just don't want
ignorant.
Or ignorant, exactly,
Yeah.
because he doesn't want it to affect his money because the NFL is his business. It's just something sad to see. And I don't know why people still want to play for the guy. I wouldn't want to.
No, I wouldn't either, honestly. I mean, you bring in guys like Greg Hardy,
I'd rather play for a cheater like Robert Kraft that wins rather than Jerry Jones, who's an idiot that fires their best coach ever, and then promotes like a guy that you wouldn't even think would, some guy that he knows he can control. It's kind of like Eric Spoelstra in Miami with LeBron, except they don't have a LeBron on their team. And if they do, then they let him go, Murray.
Yeah.
and Romo's their LeBron, and he's a free. He wasn't even drafted. So
yeah, No, I agree totally.
I will admit I like Tony Romo, and it is
I don't mind him. Yeah.
A cool story that he worked this hard to get in the position he is. But sooner or later, you're gonna have to part ways with the guy because he's not winning you anything.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
and maybe that will be a story down the line because he can't. We'll see if he can even throw a football next year.
So let's move over to baseball. The international game happened yesterday. Tuesday by the time this comes out. The Rays actually beat Cuba 4-1. I have the stats here. James Loney had a homer for the Rays. Matt Moore got the win. Reyes had a homer for Cuba, but it's Rudy Reyes, not Jose.
Are they related?
I don't know. I should probably check on that.
No, I doubt they are.
A lot of Rays saw some action. So I didn't watch the game mainly because I don't get that channel here. But
right.
It's a nice little thing to try and improve the international relationships. Have this international game. I don't know. I'm sure it's something like we talked about last show with the NFL playing games in Germany and China. MLB always has that Australia game, so they're probably going to expand even more out of Australia.
Right? Yeah, it's just a growing thing. I'd like to jump back real quick to the NFL.
Okay.
Because I got this update that the NFL moved their touchbacks.
Yes. Yeah.
To the 25-yard line.
I forgot to. Yeah.
And also approves ejection for 2 unsportsmanlike penalties.
So go ahead. Any comments on that?
I think the kick return game, which was so great to watch, is just non-existent anymore.
So you think it'll lead to less touchdowns?
Yes.
Okay.
It used to be a game changer, as we saw Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
And what he could do for the Ravens that one year, 2012.
Yeah, there's something about there, yeah. And Devin Hester, yeah.
Devin Hester made a career out of it, and you're going to see less and less spots. You're going to need people that they're just going to put people back there that are like fullbacks now to catch the ball.
And lay on it.
If someone kicks it short, run it for like 10 yards and fall down.
Yeah.
No one's really going to be having this blazing speed. And they're not going to be drafting anyone anymore that's like, oh, well, maybe we can make him a kick returner.
Like a DeAnthony Thomas or
and
something.
And then maybe we can change him into a wide receiver or running back later
So literally
on.
DeAnthony Thomas.
Yeah, he can help the team now.
Yeah.
But
only in a
works
special
out.
teams
And
role.
now that every kicker kicks it out of the end zone by 15 yards, it's changed the game. I think they did it for injuries, right?
Probably.
Because people were getting paralyzed because, running full speed down there. Why don't they start the guys back further? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows? This is their decision. For the unsportsmanlike, I don't really have any thoughts on that. I don't know about you.
No.
That's just something
really.
that the league just doesn't want to deal with players and fines really anymore. They just want to just kick them out of the game.
Pretty much. So back to baseball.
Back to the diamond.
Yeah. Andre Ethier out 2 to 3 months with a tibia injury. Ethier was slotted in as the starting left fielder for the Dodgers, and now they're going to have to turn to either Tite Hernandez, Carl Crawford, or I think it's Scott Van Slyke. Might be Steve.
Only took Ethier about 5 years to get to be a starter in the Dodgers lineup. He was the fourth left fielder or outfielder for a long time.
Behind Matt Kemp and those guys.
Kemp and Crawford
Yep.
and Puig came up, and
Yep.
they had like the 5 best outfielders ever seen, and it was like the all-star team out there. And Ethier is such a good player. I guess they decided they wanted to hang on to him, and now he's gone. So
Yep.
I think he'll be out of LA pretty soon.
He had a good year last year. 142 games, triple slash, 294 average, 366 on base percentage, and a 486 slutting, 137 WRC plus, which is actually very good. So he will be missed for the Dodgers. Over to Sports Illustrated, they predicted the Astros over the Cubs in this year's World Series.
If they make a few trades at the trade deadline, they could definitely do it.
What do they need to improve, you think? Pitching?
Yes, they need to improve their bullpen. I think a lot of people need to.
Okay. We have several.
Maybe one more guy that can hit the ball.
With power or just
With
in
power.
general? Okay.
They need to get, they need to get that long ball, especially in their park. Well, not their...
no, left field is shorter
left
than the
field's
Yankees'
short.
right field, I think.
So I think they need a right fielder. Or a right-handed...
They need a right-handed batter.
Well,
no, right-handed to pull it.
Yeah, for the home park, but on away games.
Oh, well, yeah.
Maybe that lefty and Yankees.
Switch hitter.
No, they have Colby Rasmus, though, right?
He did his qualifying offer. Yeah, he's
a
there.
Yankee killer, so...
Oh, yeah. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, so I think if they make some moves like bullpen, maybe a power guy...
And then the Cubs I can definitely see.
Cubs, yeah.
For sure.
Yes, that's not even the question.
Over to NBA, some sad news as TNT analyst Craig Sager's doctor says he only has 3 to 6 months to live. Diagnosed with, I think it was leukemia, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Who reported this? Like, did
he
want
did,
this to get out?
I think he reported it
I was
himself.
like, my first thought was like, damn, that sucks. And then I was like, well, who's reporting this stuff? Adam Schefter?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is very sad news. He looked like he wasn't very healthy when he was doing the games.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months is definitely a tough situation for his family. He's one of the best and iconic on court reporters with the way he dresses, and it's sad to see him go from the NBA. And then,
well, best wishes to him. Hopefully he can fight it off. Come back from that. So over to the Knicks. They plan to make a run at Evan Turner in free agency. So give me a quick, a few word things of what the Knicks would be getting with Evan Turner.
Evan Turner is a classic point forward.
Point forward.
He brings up the ball. Have you ever heard of point forward?
No, I have, yeah.
Yeah, he actually is a point guard on our team that is at 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". He's a big guy, but he brings up the ball. He did this at Ohio State. His shooting has gotten better. He's a triple-double machine if the right people are on the court with him. He goes out there with Kelly Olynyk and Urepko, who are good shooters. So if you surround him with good shooters, he can drive, make the pass, drive, score. He's a triple threat always on the court, and he'd be good to play with Carmelo, I think.
Okay. So really quick here, Russell Westbrook had his 3rd straight triple-double last night. He's an animal. And lastly, Chandler Parsons out for the Mavericks for the rest of the season with meniscus surgery.
Yeah, Parsons, he kind of dropped off the face of the earth after he went to the Mavericks. He was so good on the Rockets.
Yeah, but he's still not that bad.
The Rockets didn't pay him. He went to the Mavericks. They paid him. That's a good team with him. He hasn't really done that well. Not what I've expected.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't expected to do anything out of Florida, and then he did great things, and then he hasn't done anything since. So then we'll move to Josh's hockey 30 seconds.
It's going to be even less than 30 seconds.
Let's go to it then.
The Dallas Stars joined the Washington Capitals and the Los Angeles Kings as the only teams to clinch playoff berths. The Capitals actually clinched number 1 in the Metro and in the Eastern Conference. So the Eastern Conference runs through Washington. Other teams are close, like the Blackhawks and teams like that. They're close to clinching berths. We'll see. You got teams like Pittsburgh really heating up as of late, and then you got teams like the Red Wings and the Flyers contending for wild cards, along with the Wild and Avalanche. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a really interesting playoff hunt. And then lastly, sort of NHL and MLB, and a little bit of NBA news.
A little bit of NBA, yeah.
Yeah. Former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford has passed away at 46. Always active in the Toronto sports scene. Very high-profile mayor up in Canada. Just sad stories for that one as well.
We're going to move on to a new segment here.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, or should I?
How about I give you first? Like, I'll give you questions first,
right.
or whatever.
So this is trivia now.
Yeah, trivia now. It's a little play on words with our...
Stop.
With our so, we're going to do a little trivia against each other.
Yep. Just one question, or how many do you have?
I actually have one for hockey, football, basketball, and baseball.
All right. I have two categories, so I'll give you both, but you go first. You give me categories to pick.
All right.
Is it the 4 major sports?
It is the 4 major sports.
Give me hockey.
All right, he wants hockey. I don't know how this one's going to be. As people who follow our show, I'm not that big of a hockey fan.
Is it multiple choice?
Yes, it is multiple choice.
Good. All right, that helps.
It might be pretty easy, though.
All right, go ahead.
Just don't say anything until I finish the question and the people, because you might get it right away.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so hockey. The question is, who is the NHL hockey coach to win the most Stanley Cups? Joel Quenneville, Scott Bowman, Ken Hitchcock, or Pat Quinn? A.
Not active, right? Just
all time. A. Joel
Quenneville, yep.
B. Scotty Bowman.
Yep, Scotty Bowman.
C. Ken Hitchcock, or D. Pat Quinn.
I'm gonna go. I might be wrong here. I'm gonna go Scotty Bowman.
Correct.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
because he's won a lot as GM, so I didn't know.
Oh, no, yeah, he's won a lot. I looked it up. I didn't write down how many he's won specifically, but it seemed like he's like 4 or 5 different teams, and they all won.
So since I have 2 categories for you, I'll take one more question, and I will take baseball.
Baseball.
I'll take baseball.
All right. This might be an easy one. It might be a hard one.
Oh, God.
Question.
All right.
The Kansas City Royals have won 2 World Series in their existence.
Yeah.
Their second coming in 2015. Can you name the other year they won?
Oh, boy.
A, 1992, B, 1985, C, 1965, or D, 1978?
78. Which one was
1985 with George Brett.
I knew. Man, that was my second guess.
Yep.
You know what? Fair enough. All right, I have 2 categories for you. Very, very similar categories, very, very similar questions.
All right.
You tell me which one you want first. New York Yankees jersey numbers, Minnesota Vikings jersey numbers.
Oh, God.
Which one do you want first?
Oh, God. Vikings first, I guess.
You want Vikings first?
Yeah.
All right, here's the question. Which of the following players did not wear number 12 for the Vikings?
Okay.
Was it Gus Frerotte, Joe Webb, Jeff Locke, or Dante Culpepper?
That's a tough one.
Which of them did not wear number 12?
All right. Joe Webb.
That is correct. Joe Webb wore number 18
All right,
for the
yeah,
Vikings.
that was a tough one. I knew once you said number 12, I knew Culpepper, but I couldn't think. I was like, oh boy, I was like Gus Frerotte. All right.
All right, now to New York Yankees jersey questions.
Yeah, this I might
or
get
numbers.
wrong.
Now it is 12 days to opening day. So,
oh God,
which of these Yankees did not wear number 12?
Oh boy.
Same question. This one might be tough for you. All right.
Okay.
I'm going a little recent on this one.
Okay.
Vernon Wells, Eric Chavez, Bubba Crosby, or Eduardo Nunez?
Can I just know I love Bubba Crosby?
I loved Bubba Crosby too.
All right.
He was my mom's favorite player.
All right.
So Vernon Wells, Eric Chavez, Bubba Crosby, or Eduardo Nunez? Which one did not wear number 12?
Jesus, what number did Eduardo wear? I'm gonna say Eduardo.
Incorrect.
Damn.
He did wear number 12 for a little bit.
Right.
At one point, he did switch numbers. I don't know what to.
Okay.
Correct answer was Bubba Crosby.
Yeah, was he
think
like 8 or something?
I think he might have been 18 as well. 18? I don't know. He was a double digit.
So he was an outfielder. I should
we tied.
Assumed, yeah.
We both had one. So next time we'll have to do 3 questions.
I kind of want to ask you one more question.
All right. Can I pick?
I want to ask you 2 more questions.
All right. Well, let's hurry it up. We don't have too much time.
Yeah. It'll be about 50 seconds.
All right, go.
Basketball. Michael Jordan was famous for wearing number 23 in his career, but he also wore another number. What was
45.
It? Correct. Football.
Oh, we gotta have speed round.
How many NFL teams are named after cats? A.
After cats?
Cats.
Oh, geez.
A, 6, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5?
Hang on. We got the Panthers. We got the Bengals. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, geez. The Lions. Was 3 an answer?
Yes.
I'm into 3. Which
We
one?
have the Lions, the Panthers, the Jaguars, the Bengals.
No, I said Bengals. I didn't say Jaguars.
Yep.
All right. So.
All right. I just wanted to get those off, and I'll refresh my thing.
All right. Fair enough.
Let's just do. We'll change it. Let's do baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. So it's those main sports we talk about. Let's try to get one for each or something like that.
We'll do that next time on trivia. All right. Do you have anything else you want to add today?
No, that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Thanks for tuning in today. Make sure to follow our show on Twitter at RSR Sports Now. You can follow my personal account at JoshHeller20. Logan?
I am at lowercase LOGAN _ RIPLEY.
You can find our archive shows on YouTube. Just search Sports Now on YouTube or find direct links on our social media. You can also find us on Facebook. If you search Sports Now on Facebook, make sure to like that page. Thank you for listening to Sports Now on Radio St. Rose. Be sure to tune in next time for all the latest news around the sports world.